Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. Andy Serling in the clubhouse studio here at the Big A with the Big A. Sitting to my left, Anthony Stabile will be joining me. Talk about today's 9-race card. Nice weather. The track is still listed as muddy. I got to think it's harrowed by now, though I haven't looked at it, Anthony, and probably be good. We got a little bit of wind out there right now, and the sun's coming out, so we should be drying out during the day. Anyhow, head over to Naira Bets. You know the drill. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, we will match up to a $200 deposit bonus. Use the promo code Anthony Stabile, or shorten it and just write Big A. Today, if you bet 100 or more at Golden Gate, Anthony Stabile's favorite racetrack, through the app, you will get a $10 bonus. Justin's a little slow in these slates, isn't he? He's going to, well, he made fun of me
Saturday night last night.
He made fun of me this morning. He's going to get it today. He forgot the man with the mic. App only through Golden Gate. Anthony, you ready to talk about today's card?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
All right, let's get to work.
Let's do it. App only.
All right, app only. Race number 1.
Nice tie, by the way.
Yeah, same tie as you. I want to be like you, Anthony. I want to start doing everything like you.
Well, you better start carving up, my friend.
Race number 1. I mean, I searched. I really didn't want to pick the same horse as you, and I knew you'd pick the White Hot, Don Muscatino.
There we go.
I found out, by the way, the horse he won with at Gulfstream, Anthony, the big win for him at Gulfstream. It was an 8-5 off the turfer.
Took 2 minutes to get him going.
8-5 off the turfer. Anyhow, this horse, I don't know what the instructions were first time, but Fabio Fragoso basically put a full Nelson on this horse and just dragged him out of the race. Putting Lasix and Kendrick Carmouche is a suggestion that they don't want to ride the same way. I have to think this entry will be favored by post time. Neither one does a lot for me, but I'd rather bet them than Honorable Avenue. Though Honorable Avenue, the 2 is the only other horse. I wish I could make a crazy case for somebody else, Anthony. I tried to make one for the 4.
The White Hot Dominic Scatino against those fireballs coming in from Finger Lakes.
Yeah, they're lighting up the board, lighting up the tote.
Yeah, it's hard. It was hard really to get past one of those 2, right?
Yeah, it really was. Race number 2. Race number 2 scratched down to 4. Linda entered 4 today. She scratched 2 of them. I think she's going for that record, 2,000. She's hoping to have, on the same day she has her 5,000th scratch, her 2,000th victory. As Linda's, I think, 6,
1993, maybe 1994 now?
She won the last race.
Oh,
I think she's 6 away from 2,000. You've got the speed of Nisha. Here is Nisha, who we have not seen since May, claimed by a trainer who primarily, I believe, runs horses up in Canada. This horse has been up in Woodbine. I guess didn't want to run on the synthetic or whatever. This horse was dropped down for 12.5 by Danny Gargan. I understand she's the speed, but I'm not taking this horse off an 8-month layoff claimed by Gargan. Just not doing it.
I did. I did so reluctantly. Not in for a tag. Gets the waiver claim today. Because running for a little higher than what she was claimed for last time out. So Mr. Seymour gets a free shot. When you look at the presence of, I'm sorry?
You're going to claim her?
I wouldn't have claimed her, but I'm sure for 16,000, plenty of people would have taken a shot today.
15,999 short.
Yeah, exactly. About 15.8 short. Oh no, wait, there's the 1.5% now. So yeah, it was the whole shebang.
Good point. Make a great point.
When you see Cobra Sophia entered, filly who's been running on the all-weather and on turf. In this dirt sprint, the assumption for me was she was entered to make sure this race went for Nisha from the same barn.
Good thing, because...
And now it's a field of 4. Good thing.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, I think Nisha's ready to roll. You get the free base on balls with the waiver claim. You get her to a track that she's had success on. And not that she hasn't run well on a fast track, but, she also runs well on wet tracks. So I think everything is aligned perfectly for Nisha today. Miss Mimi, you have to figure, is just going to put some pressure on her, and
well, I don't
hopefully
think it's
you go by her.
Pressure. I just think that I trust Miss Mimi more. Miss Mimi ran like a wildebeest 2 back. She took all the money that day, despite. I don't know where that race came from, but it's not like she didn't come back and run a relatively similar race in her next start. It's from my man Gary Gullo, switches back to Gary. Gary was training her. Now, I'm not exactly sure the circumstances with Gary claiming this horse. I think this horse was claimed at Mom in September by our friend Mike Tanuzzo and Flying P. They must have sold this horse, I believe. I need to look that up again. I was talking to a friend of mine about it this morning. Anyhow, I'm going to take the alternative. I don't trust Nisha. I don't like that Danny claimed her for 25 and dropped her in for 12.5, to be honest. So I don't like her going into the last race. I can't trust her, and now I don't want her going forward. Obviously, one of these 2 is probably going to win the race.
Yeah, understandable. I can
You
understand.
didn't want to include Nwitna River? You didn't want to have her second? She's your horse?
No.
She just split the field last time, 34-1. Race number Trey. You can't wait. Hostile witness
Right
again.
back.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If he loses today, can you please stop picking him?
No, I have to pick him next time because they'll probably gild him.
He's going to turf. He'll be running in the Winter Turf Festival, the President's Day weekend Turf Festival.
I hope my boy Hostile Witness wins today. I really do.
Well, he can win today.
Yeah.
He's not as ridiculous the other time you picked him.
I think he ran well last time too. I think he just.
Anthony,
I don't think he,
he
wants to
didn't
go a
run
mile.
well
I don't think he
last
wants to
time.
go a mile.
Okay.
I don't. I think I
He
think
doesn't
that
go
showed itself.
because his sprint was
last
so.
time.
His sprint was so.
No, but they sprinted him one
exciting.
time against
And
Godzilla.
Rudy, that idiot Rudy Rodriguez, didn't think he wanted to sprint. He wanted to go a mile, but he was wrong.
He ran in a maiden.
just insulted your
he
friend
ran
Rudy.
in a
You
maiden
quietly
special
insulted
weight
your friend
event
Rudy.
in Saratoga, and now he's running in a maiden claimer in the middle of January at Aqueduct. I think there's a little difference in field quality today than the
I don't know.
first
Has
time he
anybody
ran.
won out of that Gazilla race?
You might be
That
right.
Gazilla race was like a negative voodoo
And I
hex
can't
race,
remember the
wasn't
name
it?
of the 2-year-old that won for Steve Esmussen earlier in the card. And remember, everybody was like, "Well, Godzilla was beating this horse in the morning," and that horse.
Shop It?
No, it was a two-word. It was a two-word horse. I want to
Shop
say.
It's 2 words. It doesn't matter. Anyway,
Yeah.
this horse could win. Victory Boulevard could win. Boy, does Eddie know that he lost out to Rudy in the Battle of Friends? Don't worry, you made it up.
We'll
Eddie.
catch Eddie
You
later.
picked
We'll
picked
get
the
to Eddie in a
horses that
minute.
can't win later. Yeah. I just wanted an alternative to these two. I have no argument that 3 and 4 are the 2 horses to beat in this race. Neither one of them particularly interested me at a short price.
You went to the white
And-
hot Rob Atras.
Well, I mean, honestly.
That was something yesterday.
I found his loser, though. 3 for 4 with a second. Well, how could you not take 8-1 the horse I bet in that race? 8-1 on Bluegrass Cat Smile. The horse ran a winning race. Just
Red
lost
Giant.
the other
Yep.
Rob horse. Yeah, I went to the White Hot Rob Atras. This horse got bet last time, got run off his feet, improved a little bit, and frankly, barely has to improve in this race to win here. And even though it's a muddy track, I don't think we're going to see the same muddy sealed track. Probably be good by then. I imagine it's harrowed. So I'm going to give this horse another chance because I don't like the other two. Obviously, they can win.
Be honest with you, I think you probably want to use a combination of 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Well, you got to use Bill Mott.
Yeah,
You
Joey
gotta-
Martinez,
man.
by the way, riding this horse. Joey worked for Bill for over a year and a half. So Joey going back to where he started working here on the Naira circuit for Bill Mott in the morning. We'll see if they. Listen, I don't think you could argue this. A firster would not have to be much to win this race.
Bill Mott, first-time starter, maiden claimers in the dirt, 1 for 13 with a 40-cent ROI.
I understand that, but
I understand he wouldn't have to be much. The problem is usually they aren't.
they
much.
aren't. Usually they aren't. But I mean, you want to really let this horse beat you and pay $18?
No, this horse not going to pay $18. I'll put it this way: this horse not winning and paying $18.
Maybe.
That's.
Maybe.
I don't think the horse is winning at 8-1. I just don't think he's winning at
Okay.
8-1. I don't think he's winning.
I can't imagine there's going to be much
I
steam
don't
on
disagree.
a
He would be no worse
30,000,
than
you know
you
what I
see
mean?
for me. I don't disagree with you,
Yeah.
but I don't think this horse is winning and paying $18.
Okay.
Race number 4, my ridiculous selection got scratched. Why is she so lucky? A little bitter about that. Elegant Rose is probably the worst to beat. Here she is running second last time out. I will say she's a little dressed up by this race. When people look at it and say, boy, she really improved, okay, I won't disagree. And I remember she won 2 back. Jay from Flying P Stable said to Maggie, we've decided she really just needs to let her run, let her roll up front. And I don't disagree with that. But she also rode a gold rail in this race, and she should never have lost this race.
Yeah.
Better horses, though, but she should never have lost this race.
You and I talked about this
Are
going
we
in.
getting a Tyler Gaffalione bobblehead? What
I'm
is
not
that?
getting
Can
a
we miss
Tyler.
one of those?
He
I
looked
won't.
good. Sound machine en route to.
I'm going to text Tyler and tell him I want one.
He won the Ginger Brew. She didn't win the Ginger Brew. She won the other one yesterday.
I don't want to discuss
Took a
either one of them.
brutal beat in the last race yesterday. Anyway.
My KIARAN horse, my goofy South African KIARAN horse.
Because of you, I threw the horse in the pick 4 on a $24 ticket and got cut down by one of the 5 biggest they knews of all time.
That was something they knew in the last race. Anyway, I guess she's the worst to beat. I think you're silly having her fourth.
I got to be honest with you. There's no offense to Bruce. Bruce does a good job, but these Navarro horses they leave Navarro with the speed, and I worry terribly about them. This horse is going to take a ton of money.
Except here's the problem: this horse is trained by Navarro. This horse worked at Palm Meadows 2 weeks ago, so. I know he's been switched to Bruce's barn. She has been, but she's been training recently for Navarro. Isn't that fair? Not knocking Bruce, not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying you're not talking about a horse that Bruce took over 2 months ago. Is that?
Yeah.
I mean, I think. Listen,
Navarro's
you're going to
750
have
miles
to
with
explain to
1,280
me
miles
how
away.
Dirty Bird is going to win this race.
I like Dirty Bird off the.
She's slow with a capital
She
S-L-O-W.
is, and she's going to have to improve a little bit. But
A lot.
if you're like me and you don't believe in Elegant Rose, I don't know. And now look, the track's
wrong
still
with this
pretty
horse,
wet.
Cadeau to Pay?
There's nothing wrong with it, and she's the horse to beat in here, obviously.
Well, I don't know the horse to beat. Is she the horse to beat, or is it Elegant Rose in the front end?
I think she's the horse to beat.
I don't know.
in
It's
here.
very close.
Okay. Well, I just
She is
wanted
a
to
last time was the time horse. Wouldn't you agree?
for Cadeau de. Yeah, well, of course. Yeah, they gave you got
Missed away.
5-1 last time, first time in for the tag, and
I have the exact. That's my girl.
I know.
She's a super freak.
Yep, I know. But I think you have to worry about the fact that she's cutting down. She's a super freak.
You're wrong about that. Because she's a super. No, you're wrong about that. Because she's a super freak. Ran back to her good races.
I guess.
I feel insulted.
I want 1s and 7s in here. That's all. Dirty Bird's off the rail. She gets an outside draw. She has a horse like Elegant Rose that's going to go set the pace. I'm hoping she just picks them up.
I'm going to highly disagree with you completely in this race. First of all, I don't get the 7 at all. I think she should be 15-1.
You want to give me 2-1, 7 beats 2?
Yes. 2-1?
Four lunches to 2.
No, 2-1.
All right, straight 2-1.
It's at 47.
Okay, straight 2-1.
2/7. I think Prairie Fire can win this race. I considered putting her on top in here. I'm not sure. I might not have taken her as an alternative if I had known the 4 wasn't going to run, because I kind of wanted an alternative to 1 and 2 in this race.
Okay.
Jose Lezcano has done very little wrong at this meet. I don't know what he was doing with this horse. How could you imagine this horse would be dead last? Not dead last, but basically last. Back to the back last time. I think he really kind of rated this horse way too far out of the race. And I don't think she ran that badly in a race that was dominated up front.
But don't you feel like unless he now she might just be the type where she just doesn't have any early guess. And I know what you mean. Last time he kind of took her back.
She's not nearly as slow as she was last time.
Yeah.
She's not fast,
I worry about that in here as well. I worry about horses like, I know you don't like it, I worry about Dirty Bird and Cadeau de Pay getting the jump on Prairie Fire. Cadeau de Pay. Getting the jump on Prairie Fire. I think you got to worry about that in here. Because it is only 6.
I don't worry about anything to do with Dirty Bird.
Okay.
Race number 5. I think track condition is very important in race number 5.
Agree.
And I think that John Terranova must feel the track is going to be pretty much good by then.
Right.
This horse did not handle it. If Soul Flight runs back to his race 2 back, he's going to win this race.
Well, here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
If the track's wet, Soul Flight's in trouble. If the track is dry, Soul Flight's going to win this race.
I don't know if he's going to win. He's the horse to beat.
I mean,
how about these stats? When John Terranova drops them, not too many of them, they all seem to win. He has other. I mean, listen, Monmouth Drive could win if he runs back to his race 2 back. I mean, something obviously went wrong last time, and I mean, this is the race of drop downs. It's not just Soul Fight. It's Monmouth Drive, we're taking a look at here, and it's Later Cat, who's also dropping down. One thing I'll say about Monmouth Drive, this was Freedom Prince should have won this race.
Yes.
If he hadn't drifted, the rail was very good this day.
Yep.
He would have won, and it ends up that Monmouth Drive really sort of refines himself when he goes down towards the inside.
So it's like you said, it's the race of drop downs, right?
Right. And one of them is
Soul
probably going
Flight,
to win.
I think, has a. You can clearly point. I can at least clearly point to the wet track. We don't know what happened to Monmouth Drive last time, where, I mean, relatively speaking, conditions were the same. And Later Cat's the most troubling because Later Cat got the wet track and didn't run 2 steps.
Well, the other problem with Later Cat is his only, well, he started out his career okay, so that's not really fair. He was against the track when he won 2 back. He didn't beat a particularly good horse, but he was outside, and that was the day the rail was pretty strong. So I think he was hurt by the track a little bit. I think the rail was huge bias, that 2 back. To be honest with you, actually, I don't think it was at all. But he probably was a little against it. I don't know.
But isn't he a horse who before last time, his 2 wet track races were considerably better than his dry track races, and then he just didn't run on a wet track last time? That bothers me.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. You get caught up in wet tracks more than I do. I don't.
Well, I think Andy, it's 11 points.
Yeah, maybe he just ran well in his debut and he tailed off after that. And Linda got him back to his better race.
I don't know. That last race really
Well, he
bothered
was
me.
part of the entry with the winner, and that pace did sort of evaporate. That was a pretty rapid pace last time.
I guess.
One of these horses is supposed to win. Mm-hmm. I don't really have much strong opinion after that. I would just use them all.
Yeah.
Race number 6. Oh, this is a crushing blow for you. Your complete friend suck-up day was ruined because you could have got them all in today.
And I would this
Mikey
one would have gotten home today.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it was
she
a good
would've.
scratch by Mikey.
Yeah, he would have.
Good scratch by Mikey because he wasn't beating this field. Did run well last time. I don't disagree. So
You
let's
really
look
want
at-
you really want this? I scratched into this horse. You really want this horse?
Yes. We'll take a look at New Frontier on the rail, who's probably the favorite. But I mean, what do you do with a horse with 6/3? And I mean, he's lost his last 3 races at even money, 3-2 and 8-5. He handles a wet track. In fact, he arguably better on a wet track, which won't hurt him today. But this horse got beaten 3 lengths by Air Touch and Free Enterprise.
But the problem is he gets beat 3 lengths by Air Touch and Free Enterprise, and then he gets beat almost 2 lengths by Luna's in Charge and Brother Akron or Brother Aaron. I mean, he kind of just runs the same race regardless of class.
He loses. I agree.
He loses. He's 7-5
as far
more
as
lines.
Conquistador,
Impossible
yes,
to
I
take
do
him.
like this horse today. It does seem like the Cassie horse has been running, and this horse ran very well in his career debut, and things just sort of fell apart after that. But you know what? I think he's getting back to the right surface, and I think today is the day he shows up. And he's also a horse that was helped by the scratch, because without a horse scratched, he and New Frontier are going to be the controlling two horses up front here. And I think it very much works against the interesting horse in this race.
Is the 3.
Is Tri St. Lorenzo. The problem with Tri St. Lorenzo is not his talent, because this horse ran a giant race first time out. This horse is his own worst enemy. He gets left, he causes problems. Yep. You're naming a rider, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful. I really don't. You know, I'm sure he tries hard as best he can, but this is a rider that I don't know that I'd want to have on a horse that seems to be his own worst enemy.
I like Heeman too. Heeman works
No,
very hard.
I'm not trying to beat up on the guy.
This to me was like a Kendrick special.
Does nobody want to ride it? There's something about this horse. Nobody wants to ride this horse.
This horse has a lot of talent.
I know. I don't
This
disagree.
horse has a lot of talent.
He did last year. We don't know that he still
We
does.
don't know what happened.
I actually
Correct.
believe that he's the best horse in this. If he ran his first race and he didn't get left and got a clean trip, I'm pretty confident he's the best horse in this race.
You almost feel like if he didn't get left in his first race, he might not even be in here today.
That would be correct.
He
And I
probably
wouldn't
would
have
have
cashed
won.
on Pulsate.
Yeah, he probably would have won. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, he's going to be on all my tickets because I don't really
you
like
can't
New
let him beat you.
Frontier, and I do not trust it. $2.45 million for a horse that's run 6 times
Is that what they paid for
in
the bottom?
17
Oh my
months.
gosh. Who's he have to this horse?
I mean,
Who's his pedigree?
I don't remember.
look
They
that
paid
up.
all kinds of money for him. He's running on dirt for the first time in over a year. I mean,
I think he's going to win today.
yeah.
Race number 7. The return of HAIKAL.
Yay.
Here is HAIKAL winning the Gotham. And I'm glad to see him back. I agree. I will say with him,
We should have the volume on for this, by the way. This is my favorite Johnny I call of all time, just for the record.
Really?
Yes. This is a fantastic call. This Johnny I's had some really great calls.
every dog has his
This
day.
is his. Hey, this is his best call. I love this call.
Okay, I'll go listen to my office when we get done. You can listen at home. One thing I'll say is this has been a very lucky horse. He's a talented horse.
You've always had a thing against this horse.
No,
man.
no, I have nothing against this horse. This horse has been very fortunate. This horse has gotten extremely fast paces in his races. He has been able to stay on gold rails during the running of his
That
races.
Jimmy
as he did in the
Wingfield,
Gotham.
yep, the move up
this
the
is a horse
inside.
that has had, and that was that terrible ride when Manny took
Tickvin
flew off the inside. Kieran's numbers off of layouts aren't great. I'm sure they want to win here, but their end goal isn't to win this race. Listen, this horse ran fine in the wood. I'm not
Well, Kieran
knocking him,
was quoted
but he
as saying-
he also got a very fast pace. in the
Kieran
wood.
was quoted as saying, you know, he's probably going to get a little tired today.
Yeah, I think he's a great bet against today. I
Okay.
don't want any part of him. I mean, can he win? Would I use him in my pick 5? Probably.
Well, you're just going to try and bottom him out with Vorticity.
Well, I think there's 2 horses to use in here. You know, I went way back into the time machine for the replays on Vorticity to make a point to people. This is the 2016 Withers, where he actually beats Sunny Ridge, and there's Flexibility, who I don't think he ran off the wood. I think he came back in the wood. Flexibility beat him the time before in the Jerome, but he showed that he can handle going long in this race. In here, he was running fine going longer distance early in his 3-year-old year. People are going to forget that this horse was on the Triple Crown Trail, albeit in the winter. This is the winter I was down at Gulfstream, as a matter of fact. I remember I watched this race with Chad, who had Flexibility in there. So don't make the mistake of thinking this horse can't go long. And he is clear in here, and Correa is not supposed to fool around. I think the worst thing that Correa could do here is let the field into the race. You are riding the controlling speed. Make them chase you.
Correa on him? Is he okay from yesterday?
Oh, I don't know. Whoever is riding him, make the field play your game.
Correa's off today. Okay.
Do you know who's riding this horse in this 7th race, the 5? Carmouche. Carmouche will not fool around.
No worries now.
Right, and Chuck Lawrence, who trains his horse, understands the value of speed, as he did in that stake race.
I probably should have put this horse second.
This horse is dangerous. Yeah. You had to keep your Bill Mott card, and you picked the least likely winner of this race second. Multiplier for Bill Mott. What's wrong with this horse? This horse has been running against good horses. This horse's dirt race isn't bad.
Yeah.
What chance does this horse have against Candy Graham and Prince Lucky in Backyard Heaven, for gosh sakes?
I felt like if Vorticity, who I don't trust as much as you do with the mile, if Vorticity
I'm not saying he has to win.
If Vorticity doesn't want the mile and HAIKAL's not ready, I figure Lone Rock to be sitting second here and to be the one to inherit Vorticity.
Yeah, you have a mysterious understanding. First of all, he's not the second fastest horse. Small Bear is if they want to use his speed, but he won't because Fargus rates everything. But forgetting about that, he's actually slower than HAIKAL, Lone Rock. You're delirious in thinking he has speed.
I'm not saying, like you said, Small Bear, in a perfect world, Small Bear would be the one sitting second in here.
No, it's not even that. The Lone Rock's not close. You and I will just have to agree to disagree. I'm not going to have a big argument with you about a horse with no chance. Small Bear at one time could beat this field. I just don't know if this horse can run anymore. I hope he still can, but he showed nothing in his return race. And Small Bear is no bigger fan than me. He's one of my favorite horses racing, but I don't know if he can run anymore. So in race number 8, here's Autonomous breaking her maiden over Bay Jewel. I'm going to tell you, she was bad last time. I'm surprised to see Chad Brown stretching this horse out to a mile. Which in a funny way is like a confidence booster to me, because it says that he's confident a horse that quit going 6 can actually go farther. We'll see, but this is a pivotal race for her because she was bad last time out. And the horse she beat came back and did not run particularly well in her next start.
It was 24 days after the maiden win. Shipped her out there. She had to deal with the night racing, the lights.
Oh, come on.
She felt some pressure.
She was brutal.
She felt some pressure.
Don't give me the light
end.
nonsense. That's crap.
She felt some pressure.
You can't use the lights for a 3 to 5 shot that's stopped on a dime.
All I'm saying is, she went from running 23 days earlier and then having to deal with the ship for the first time. She had to deal with the night racing. They asked her to do a lot in a short amount of time. She was drawn inside, so she was under the gun.
I'm sure my man was cursing himself after the race.
Okay.
He shouldn't have shipped there.
And now,
I'm sure he was.
Now
but,
she has
Anthony,
almost 6 weeks.
You're still arguing, and I don't agree with David. She's going to be favored in here. They won't be able to get away from Chad Brown, just like we couldn't. I also am not a huge fan of Quality Heat. I know Quality Heat ran 3rd last time. I don't like this race she comes out of. This was 8. An off-the-turf field filled with turf horses.
I don't have any faith in her going. I don't know if she wants to go this far, to be honest with you.
Well, she did last time.
She don't feel like she got tired late in the game here last time?
I don't like her.
Yeah.
I think this is a terrible race she's coming out of. But I don't like anybody in this race. That's why I picked these 2, 1, 2, and I don't particularly like either one of them. I really don't. I don't trust you. Let me put it this way: you trust Autonomous?
No, I don't. No, absolutely not. Absolutely do not trust. Trust is not the word I would use with anybody.
The 5 beat a preposterous field last time.
She did, but I got to think that with her pedigree, the stretch out's going to help her.
No, she was brutal. Okay.
That race came back a lot faster than you thought it would. Did it not?
Anthony, her last race was putrid. It was terrible. you can't argue that Autonomous ran well last time because she did.
Oh, no, I was talking about Truth Hurts at this point.
Yeah, but I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. I hear what you're saying. I don't care.
Okay.
I just don't care. That race, there were those two firsters, the Hennig horse and the Sugar horse.
You're
didn't really
not
get
wrong.
bet. That was a very, very goofy race. I think Looking Dynamic is the interesting horse that I'm going to use to improve for Mike Trombetta. That Ankle Monitor's not a terrible horse. She's actually okay. She was second a decent stake to a horse actually at Trombetta trains that won a stake down at Laurel over the weekend, who's not bad. And Ankle Monitor, you remember who Ankle Monitor is? She's the horse that ran the Big Fig at Parks at $1,000,000 to 1 that came and tried the Tempted.
Yes. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not bad. She's won, I think,
She was the
2
2
races
or something.
since
She
then.
was inside,
She
right?
won
Yeah.
a Big Fig at $1,000,000 to 1. She came out of a maiden claiming race. I think it was like 40 to 1, and then ran like an 80-something buyer. She's not terrible.
Castellano rode her, I think.
I'm going to use this horse.
Okay.
I'm going to use the new face. Anthony, I don't trust anybody in this race.
I don't either, but like you said, Chad was probably kicking himself last time a little too quick.
Well, I understand, but then again, we all kick ourselves when it doesn't work out, It's easy to say to yourself, I shouldn't have done that.
I want the
when it
2
doesn't
outside
work out.
horses stretching out. That's who I want in here.
think
I
this-
would not be surprised if Truth Hurts
I
wins
think
this race.
this race has a very, very, very dicey odor to it. Anything could happen.
Well, I'll be calling it.
Well, so the odor got worse.
There's the odor.
It was nice of Linda to scratch the last race so that she would make it easier for you to call the last race. Where's Johnny I off to today?
I'm a soldier, my friend.
Last
I'm
two
giving my
so he
orders.
can sneak out the front
I
door.
am
I like it when
giving
you
my
call in the middle of the
orders.
day, though, because then Johnny comes down to the office and visits us. And it's like a nice chance to get to see him.
I'm a soldier. I'm giving my orders, and I follow through with
So race number 9. Here's Vineyard Sound for Brad Cox running second and off the turf race. It bothers me.
You sound thrilled to talk about this.
Well, it bothers me that this horse has never run in a scheduled dirt race. But it's Brad Cox dropping down, and these horses, will probably win. And I know you've had some success taking these slow Michelle Nevin horses, and maybe State of Mind will win, but frankly, if Vineyard Sound doesn't win, Mind the Coin is going to win. Mind the Coin did not. Mind the Coin got a horrifically
I can't
bad
keep
ride
going
last
to
time.
that well, Andy.
No, that horse got a terrible ride
You're
last
not
time.
wrong.
I mean, a terrible ride. I know.
No offense. Cordero's not coming out of the retirement to ride this horse today.
No, I know
on the
this.
rider
I know
change.
this.
Okay, so I took the
You think
listen.
Angel could still ride? He tried to come back a few times. I don't think Angel.
I
think he's
I don't
very
wanna get
happy
into
down
it.
in Florida in the warm weather.
Yeah, I do too.
I miss Angel. I like seeing Angel.
Isn't State of Mind supposed to be in front here? You got to get in front of Vineyard Sound.
I didn't. I'm not so sure of that.
You're not so sure of that. Coming out, this horse never sprinted.
Anthony,
One sprint.
I'm not so sure of that. I'm not so sure he's in front of Loaded Joe. You think Ruben Silvera is going to rate for the first time in his career?
I just want to say, I hope Manning's aggressive and just gets this horse in
I
front
don't
today,
think
and
he'll
that might
in
be
front.
enough.
Sorry, I don't think he'll
2, 6, and 8, right? It's hard
No,
to see
2,
anybody else.
2-8.
No, you're wrong there. You're wrong there.
Cool.
You better use this horse if you're alive in anything. You better use
I
it.
don't think I'm going to be alive.
I'm just saying. If you let that horse beat you today, you're out of your mind.
What do you think of Independence Hall the other day, by the way?
I think that when I was on HR and I actually got my lazy butt out of my chair to go watch, because when he was on TV acting up, I watched that horse act up for 11 minutes. I've never seen a horse act as poorly as him for as long a time as he did and win. Never seen it. So I was impressed with his effort.
Clearly, Mike has two things in his hands. He's got a horse who's got a bit of an attitude, and he also keeps getting left. Mike Trombetta knows as well as anybody that when the going gets tougher, you can't keep getting left.
That horse is okay, but I just don't know if he can overcome his. He's got some
run
issues
three
right now.
times, and
Yeah,
he's
but
going to get more mature with time. I'm a fan of that horse. I was not impressed by him on Wednesday. I think he ran fine. I think he did what he had to do.
he left a lot of his race in that paddock, Andy.
Maybe.
And he still won by 4 lengths.
Maybe, but we'll see. I don't know if he behaved as badly in the Nashua. I don't think he did.
I think Maggie
said he behaved pretty badly that
Oh, well, then